This is SHETH VIDYA MANDIR English High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce. This is the HSC online audio video lectures. I'm Bina RAIKAR, Organization of Commerce and Management. I'm teaching you this year. And at present I'm doing the 4th chapter, that is Business Services. This is the 6th video that I'm uploading, and today's topic is transport. Now, what is transport? In India, transport plays a very important role. After 1991, development of infrastructure progressed at a very rapid pace. And today, we have different modes of transport such as land, water, air, railways, etc. Let's come to the meaning of transport. It is the movement of people, animals and goods from one location to another location. Or it can be defined as a means of carrying goods and people from one place to another place. In this meaning, there are two important words, and that is carrying of people, animals and goods, and movements of people, animal and goods from one place to another. And transportation is carried through various modes such as railways, roads, waterways, airways. This year we are going to study 7 modes of transport, and the 7 modes of transport are road, rail, air, water, metro rail, ropeways and pipeline. Let's see what is the first one, that is the road transport. Roads are the means that connect one place to another. On the surface of the land, different vehicles plying on roads like bullock carts, cycles, motorcycles, cars, trucks, etc. Buses take up over 90% of public transport in Indian cities and serve as a cheap and convenient mode of transport for all classes of society. Services are mostly run by state government-owned transport corporation. Bus Rapid Transit (BRT) systems and air-conditioned buses have been taken by various state governments to improve the bus public transport system in cities. Besides these buses, the country also have double-decker buses that are found in cities like Mumbai, Chennai, Kochi, Trivandrum. In India, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways look after the development of service transport throughout the country. Now the road transport. These pictures are, the above one is the bus rapid transit BRT system, okay, that is moving the passengers from one place to another, and below is the truck which is loaded of goods, transportation of goods from one place to another. Let's come to the advantages of road transport. It is a relatively cheaper mode of transport as compared to other modes. Perishable goods can be transported at a faster speed by road carriers over a short distance. It is flexible mode of transport as loading and uploading is possible at any destination. It provides door-to-door services. It helps people to travel and carry goods from one place to another in places which are not connected by other means of transport like hilly areas. Here these two pictures is a car and a tempo. These are even used to transportation of people, passengers from one place to another. Let's come to the disadvantages of road transport. Due to limited carrying capacity, road transport is not economical for long distance transportation of goods. Transportation of heavy goods or goods in bulk by road involves high cost. It is affected by adverse weather conditions, floods, rains, landslides, etc. sometimes create obstructions to road transport. There is a possibility of road accidents which are common, mainly on highways. It causes pollution due to the use of diesel, which affects the health of people. It also causes noise pollution. Now let's go to rail transport. Rail services in India first introduced in 1853. Transportation of goods and passengers on rail lines through rails is called as rail transport. It occupies an important place in land transport system of our country and is the most dependable mode of transport to carry goods and passengers over a long distance. Besides long distance, local transport of passengers is also provided by local trains or metro rail in some metropolitan cities. In India, Ministry of Railways look after the development of rail transport throughout the country. Now some popular trains, I have put some pics over here. Your popular trains are, this first one is a picture of Rajdhani Express. Next one is the Duronto Express. Then you have the Vande Bharat Express. And next is the Ramayan Express. These are some examples of your railway transport. Over here I have even put a pic of Deccan Odyssey train. Now let's come to the advantages of rail transport. It is convenient mode of transport for traveling long distances. It is comparatively faster than road transport. It is suitable for carrying heavy goods in larger quantities for long distances. Its operation is less affected by adverse weather conditions like rain, floods, fog, etc. It ensures safety and security of goods. Even costly and delicate goods can be sent by rail. Then the disadvantages of rail transport. It is relatively expensive for carrying goods and passengers over short distances. It is not available in remote parts of the country. It provides services according to fixed time schedule and is not flexible for loading or unloading of goods at any time. It involves heavy loss of life as well as goods in case of accidents. It does not provide door-to-door services. It does not reach remote areas. Now the distinguish between road transport and rail transport. Road transport has limited speed, whereas rail transport has considerable speed since it runs on tracks. The carrying capacity is limited in road transport and the carrying capacity is very huge in rail transport. The cost, it requires limited capital investment in terms of construction of roads, vehicles and their maintenance. The cost of construction of trains, railway tracks is high. Maintenance of trains, tracks and stations is high. Then road transport is recommended for short distance. Rail transport is recommended for both short and long distance. The charges are not fixed in case of road transport, but it is high due to increased fuel prices. Under road transport, rail transport, the transport charges are relatively low and are fixed according to the distance. Road transport provides door-to-door services. Rail transport does not provide door-to-door services. Under road transport, it can use animals, animal cars, motorcycles, 3 and 4 vehicles, wheeler cars. Whereas in rail transport, it uses passenger trains and goods train. Road transport is suitable for transporting the goods in relatively smaller quantities for short distance. Whereas rail transport, it is suitable for transporting heavy goods in large quantities over long area. The ownership of road transport is in the hands of private parties as well as the government, whereas the ownership of rail transport is in the hands of the government only. Now let's go to the third one, that is the air transport. This is the fastest mode of transport. It carries goods and passengers through airways by using different aircraft like passenger aircraft, cargo aircraft, helicopters, etc. Besides passengers, it generally carries goods that are less bulky or of high value. In hilly and mountainous areas where other modes of transport is not accessible, air transport is an important as well as convenient mode. It is mostly used for transporting goods and passengers during natural calamities like earthquakes and floods. During war, air transport plays an important role in carrying soldiers as well as supplies to the required areas. Air transport can be classified as domestic and international air transport. Air transport is carried out in fixed air routes which connect almost all the countries. Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport in Mumbai is currently India's busiest airport in terms of passenger traffic. You have the examples over here, that is the domestic, Air India, that is a public sector. Then you have the SpiceJet, that belongs to the private sector, and plus you have the International Qantas Airways Limited, that is the Australia public sector ones. Now let's go to the advantages and the disadvantages of air transport. The advantages are as follows. It is the fastest mode of transport. It is useful in transporting goods and passengers to the area which are not accessible by any other means. It provides vital support to the national security and defense. It is most convenient mode of transport during natural calamities. It is less polluting as compared to road transport. Let's come to the disadvantages of air transport. It is relatively more expensive mode of transport. It is not suitable for transporting heavy and bulky goods. It is affected by adverse weather conditions. It is not suitable for short distance. In case of accidents, it results in heavy losses of goods, property and life, and it is always subject to international restrictions. Let's come to the water transport. Water transport refers to movements of goods and passengers on waterways by using various means like boats, steamers, launches, ships, etc. With the help of these means, goods and passengers are carried to different places, both within as well as outside the country. Within the country, rivers and canals facilitate the movement of boats, launches, etc. Since the goods and passengers move inside the country, this type of transport is called as inland water transport. When the different means of transport are used to carry goods and passengers on the sea route, it is termed as ocean or sea transport. In India, Ministry of Shipping looks after development of ocean transport throughout the country. Here are different pictures. This is a steamer. Then you have a round boat. You have launches. And you have this picture of cruise ship. Let's come to the advantages and disadvantages of water transport. This is a picture of the Andaman Island cruise ship. The advantages of water transport. It is a relatively economical mode of transport for bulky and heavy goods. It is a safe mode of transport with respect to occurrence of accidents. The cost of maintaining and constructing routes is very low as most of them are naturally made. It promotes international trade. It protects the goods from sun, rain, wind, dust, etc. as goods are mostly carried in containers, tankers, etc. Let's see the disadvantages of water transport. It does not provide door-to-door services. It is heavily affected by adverse weather conditions. It is a slow-moving mode of transport and therefore not suitable for transport of perishable goods. Sea transport requires large investment on ships and maintenance. It has high maintenance cost for ship and tankers as it requires constant repairs and paintings of ship. The depth and navigability of rivers and canals vary and thus affects operation of different transport vessels. Similarly, it is also subject to the dangers of the sea. Now let's see to the distinguish between air transport and water transport. Air transport is the fastest mode of transport. Water transport, it is the slowest mode of transport. Carrying capacity, it has limited carrying capacity. Water transport has huge carrying capacity. The cost of air transport, it uses natural and hence there is no cost involved. However, in the construction of aircraft, there is a huge cost. Coming to ways, it uses natural highways, so there is no cost involved. But high cost is involved for construction of ships and the maintenance of ships. Air transport is suitable for long distance. Water transport is suitable for long distance, especially across countries and continents. Charges of transportation are very high for air transport and charges for water transport are very low. Both of them do not provide door-to-door facilities. Air transport uses aircraft, helicopters, jets, etc. Water transport uses boats, ships, liners, tankers, etc. Air transport is suitable for transporting lightweight, perishable and valuable goods to any part of the world, whereas water transport is suitable for transporting very heavy goods, machineries in large quantities to any part of the world. Road transport and water transport. The distinguish between road transport has limited speed. Water transport is the slowest mode of transport. Carrying capacity of road transport is limited and water transport the carrying capacity is very high, very huge. Road transport, it requires limited capital investment in terms of construction of roads, vehicles and the maintenance. Water transport uses waterways which are natural highways and hence there is no cost involved. However, there is high cost involved for construction of ships and parts and also maintenance of ships and parts. It is recommended for short distance. Water transport, it is suitable for long distance, especially across countries and continents. Transport charges are not fixed. And over here, under water transport charges are very low. Road transport provides door-to-door facilities, services, whereas water transport does not provide door-to-door services. Road transport can use animals, animal cart, motorcycles, 3 and 4 wheelers. Water transport uses boats, big ships, liners, tankers, etc. It is suitable for transporting the goods in relatively smaller quantities for short distances, and it is suitable for transporting heavy goods, machineries in large quantities to any part of the world. The fifth part is your Metrorail. These are types of rapid transit system found in urban areas. These types of transports are energy efficient and less polluting too. A monorail is a railway in which the track consists of a single rail or a beam. The term is also used to describe the beam of the system or the trains traveling on such a beam or track. From the passenger's perspective, monorails can have some advantage over other modes such as less intersection turns, no traffic jams, absence of problem of collision. Examples of monorail in India is Mumbai Monorail. The sixth one, ropeway. Ropeway refers to the mode of transport which connect two places on the hills or across a valley or river. Trolleys move on wheels connected to a rope and are used to carry passengers. Examples is Raigad ropeway at Raigad Fort, ropeway at Sonmarg in Srinagar, and you have one more as Guwahati ropeway. Last one is a pipeline transport. Pipeline transport sends goods through a pipe, most commonly liquid and gases. Short distance system exists for sewage, slurry and water, while long distance networks are used for petroleum and natural gas. I hope you have understood all the modes of transport. Thank you.